So, uh, this is something I definitely never thought I would do, and I'm not entirely happy that I have to do it. I feel like I have to do it, I should say. But it's gotten to a point where I don't know what else to do. Hey, what's up, you guys? Silent Violet here. Or if you guys don't know me by my real name, my name is Carla. And today I am here because I'm asking for your help. I know that a lot of you guys, probably most definitely the majority of my subscribers, started following me in October of 2020. And that was mainly due to all of my husband and hello boss reaction videos. Which, by the way, thank you guys again for subscribing. I hope you're enjoying your stay. I had about 50 subscribers before that point, and to those 50 or so that followed me beforehand, you all probably remember a video I made back in September of 2019, or maybe some of you. If you haven't seen that video, whether or not you're a new subscriber or not, or just because you've never gone through some of my older videos, yeah, I will leave a link right here. It is called I Got a Tattoo and My Mom Got Something Else. I highly suggest that you watch that video because it'll give you a bit more context. And for the record, yes, that video is a bit long, but I will leave a timestamp as to where the relevant parts for this video start, because the first part is me talking about me getting my first tattoo, but it's the second half, the part that talks about my mom, that is the important bit. So this is a timestamp for that, and I will give you a moment if you want to go and watch that video. So go ahead. You good? Okay. So in case you've already seen that video before, or you ignored what I just said and could decide to continue watching, or whatever, I will give you a brief recap. In November of 2010, my mother, who is the most important person in my life, aside from my father, but yeah, my mom is my best friend and I love her a lot. In November 2010, my mother was diagnosed with chronic kidney failure. There were no symptoms. There was no explanation given by the doctors. They couldn't find a reason why she would have kidney failure. No, it didn't run in her family. She's never drank or smoked. There's not been any reason to this day that they could find as to why her kidney started to fail. And when they found them failing, they were at 15%. That was the percentage that they were working. To anyone who doesn't know, if your kidneys start to fail, you can use dialysis to heal them, and that kind of takes care of the kidney's job, which is getting rid of waste from the body while the kidneys heal. But there is a point where dialysis won't work, and I can't remember the percentage that is. So she was diagnosed with end-stage chronic kidney failure, which meant that it was a guarantee her kidneys were going to fail. And sure enough, in April of 2011, they did fail completely, and it was at that point that she was placed on dialysis. And for the next 9 years, my mother has been having dialysis, both peritoneal and hemo, which peritoneal is a kind of home solution dialysis that is done with a solution in her cavities, whereas hemo is the traditional dialysis that most people know of, that involves the blood being cleaned, like the entire body's supply of blood being filtered and cleaned and then put back in the body. And neither of those are easy, neither of those are gentle on the body. And kidney failure, it is something that can lead to other health concerns, which within those 9 years my mother also experienced. She experienced high blood pressure, she experienced low sodium and high sodium levels, she experienced lots of different levels with creatinine and hemoglobin and white blood cells, and it's just a lot. The one thing, thank God, that she never had to experience, which is something that many people who are kidney failure patients have to deal with, is diabetes, which, again, she's never had that, and she is so disciplined. She's always been so disciplined in her health, even throughout some of the worst times in the past 9 years, that she has taken very good care of herself, and she's my hero. And it was during that time that I was literally about to graduate middle school, and I decided to not go to high school. I decided to homeschool myself through virtual school because I wanted to be there for her. And it's a good thing that I did. I don't regret it, and I would do it again, because that meant all those times she had to go to the hospital, which were many, I could go and stay with her, and I could camp out, and I could do my work from my laptop or my my iPad, and just still get my education and just be there for her, because I was just a teenager. I didn't know what else I could do. So yeah, it was a long, hard battle, and one of there is no cure for kidney failure. I should mention there is no cure. The only treatments that there are dialysis and a kidney transplant, and even then, that's why I say it's a treatment, because a kidney can still fail even if it's been transplanted. You have to still take care of yourself, but it's not foolproof. To get a kidney transplant, you have to get on a list, a certain list that is composed of by doctors. You have to get a lot of tests done. You have to show financial records and proof that you could afford anti-rejectory medicine after the surgery that you have to take for the rest of your life, and lots of other things to be considered eligible for a kidney transplant, because that's a major surgery, and especially if you need a kidney and you don't have anyone that can donate one for you, they have to make sure that kidney is going to go to someone that's going to be able to take care of it. They don't want to waste an organ. You know what I mean? My mom tried 3 times to get on that list, and the first 2 times she was not able to because of reasons that are not her fault. One of them was the fact that she did not have enough money to be able to pay for the medication, which it goes to show you this country's failure of a healthcare system, that like medicine that she would need is like just out of bounds expensive, and this is medicine she has to take every day for the rest of her life. So there was that. The second time, it was a screw up on part of the hospital and like the coordinators and everything. They, for some reason, had this idea that she decided not to get on the list, so they canceled everything, and she was like, no, I never said that. So some years pass, a lot of health problems, financial problems later. She finally gets on the list, and I want to say June or July of 2019. So at this point, it's been 9 years since she's been diagnosed, almost 9 years, and almost 8 years of her being on dialysis since the kidneys actually failed. And she finally gets on the list, which was such a miracle. And this is another miracle in and of itself, that they took into account all the years she's been a kidney failure patient, and they bumped her up on the list. So instead of having to wait 8 years, because that's how long she would have had to wait for her blood type to get a deceased donor kidney, she was at the top of the list. And lo and behold, within like 2-3 months, on September 29th, she gets a call when we're at church saying that they found a match. Throughout all this, we had people who were willing to donate a kidney. Close friends of ours. I was willing to give my mom a kidney, and I wasn't allowed to for certain reasons. My dad was not allowed to because he was too old, but they found a kidney, and on September 30th, right, by 10 a.m. in the morning, she had a new kidney. And that was one of the happiest days of our life, because it's 9 years of literally so much just stuff. That's the best way I can describe it, just stuff, because it was both terrible but also sometimes kind of uplifting, but mostly like hard. Just things and events that happen. For her to finally have the miracle that we had been praying years for, like nearly a decade, it was amazing. Now, something you guys have to know about kidney transplants is that when you get a transplant, your body becomes very vulnerable because of the medication you have to take. It lowers your immune system so your body doesn't reject the organ. Because of that, my mom is now very susceptible. She's immunocompromised. She can get sick very easily. So part of the recovery after a kidney transplant is that you have to stay in your house for like 3 months and not leave unless you're going to a doctor's appointment or something really urgent like that, and you have to wear a mask everywhere you go when you're outside, and your house has to be really clean, and if someone comes to visit, they gotta wear a mask, or you have to wear a mask too, to protect yourself from getting sick. This is starting to sound a little familiar, right? Well, my mom was supposed to really get out of the house January, but it was flu season. And so her doctor said, I'd rather you wait till February. And then in February, a lot of people were sick. It was a really bad flu season. So her doctor was like, I'd rather you wait till March. And then March comes. And that's when the world realized this wasn't just flu season. This was a pandemic. Very beginning stages before anyone could realize what was happening. So yeah, my mom has been stuck inside this house except for her doctor visits, which have become even more dwindled, considering that no one's really supposed to be out and about. They've been doing FaceTime doctor appointments now. So yeah, she's been stuck inside this house for over a year. My mom does not deserve that. I'm going to say straight up. My mom's been through enough. She does not deserve that. But no, this is how things are, and she understands that. So, you know, we don't like it, but it is what it is. So yeah, of course, my dad and I are protecting ourselves the best we can because we both work, and we're paranoid, trying to make sure that we're spending the least amount of time outside, making sure that we're well and good sanitized before we come in, to prevent my mom from catching this scary virus that could quite literally kill her. It could. Like, there's no joke about that. Her doctor told her, you could die if you get this virus. And then, in the last week of July, my mom suffered a terrible case of vertigo, which has never happened to her before. Again, something that's never happened within her family either. And she's sent to the hospital for a couple days. She comes back, and yeah, I should mention that my mom is still suffering side effects from that. Like, she's still disbalanced sometimes. She has to go to physical therapy because in the beginning it was really bad. She was always dizzy. Now it's slightly less bad, but it's still not good. And I should mention, like, literally days after that, like a week after the vertigo episode, oh yeah, my entire family tested positive for COVID. Lord knows how that happened because we've been taking care of ourselves. We still don't know for sure, but yeah. The only good news that came out of that is that despite the fact that my mom is immunocompromised, a miracle happened that it seems she's what's it called again? Asymptomatic. My mom suffered more because of the vertigo in those 2 weeks than she did from the COVID. I felt like I had a terrible cold for a week and a half, and my poor dad, he was laid up in bed for 4 weeks. He's fine now. And I should mention that we don't know if we are suffering any long-term side effects from that, not any that we know of, except for the fact that my mom gets really tired now easily. She can't really do much without getting kind of heated and has to sit down, so that's fun. They don't know why my mom is still suffering effects from the vertigo. They actually don't know what it is. Someone said that it was a virus in her ear. Someone said it was a crystallosis line. One doctor lady said that it was this condition called neuropathy or neuropathy. I don't remember, but I don't think it's that. My mom's not okay, is basically what I'm trying to say. You would think that after nearly a decade of having to deal with health-related problems, she would finally get her kidney transplant, and she'd be fine. And funny enough, the kidney is fine. That's the only thing that's fine. But my mom can't catch a break. Like, she's still, like, something's wrong and we don't know what, and I can't fix it. Something you should know is that when you're a kidney patient, like a kidney failure patient, you get financial aid, but once you get a kidney transplant, a lot of that aid is taken away because you no longer qualify for it. So my mom has still been stuck paying medical bills related to her surgery and things that happened afterward because there were some complications there. Not complications, I want to say, but there were some side effects that happened that had to do with it, and she had to go back to the hospital, and now she's no longer has that financial aid. And then on top of that, we have everything related to the vertigo episode. You have her hospital visit from that, a lot of the treatments, a lot of the tests, a lot of the exams, trying to figure out what's going on. You also have now all of the medical bills pertaining to a heart problem she may or may not have that was discovered from a heart test, like a heart exam test that she did back in February, that just until now in December they found something, a small anomaly or something. They don't know what it is, by the way. She has to go get examined by her cardiologist. My mom's been through enough. She has been through enough. And she's still going through it. This should be one of the happiest times of her life. She finally got a kidney transplant after nearly a decade. She can't do anything to celebrate because of this pandemic. And now because of more health problems on top of all that. And she's saddled with so many medical bills that it's too much. It's more than anything we've had to deal with, because this is not the first time we've had to deal with way too many medical bills. But this is the first time it's been on a scale that is way too daunting, because there's no financial aid. And she's been applying for loans and financial aid and something, and they keep rejecting her because she doesn't have enough income. She can't work. She hasn't worked in over a decade because of her kidney failure, because she's a disability patient. How the hell is she supposed to have an income besides her Social Security, which by the way, is not enough to cover it. It's to a point where she tells me that she'll wake up at night and the first thing that she thinks before she's even like awake is, oh God, the bills. And all of this while dealing with more health problems that we don't even have answers as to what's going on. My mom is everything to me. She's my best friend. I have stood by in front of her hospital bed as she's been in the ICU, as she's undergone tests, as she's been intubated. There's this one time where I was at Cosmo School and my dad picked me up and we knew she was in the hospital. She was there for something related to a biopsy gone wrong. And my dad picks me up and he tells her, your mom is intubated, she might not make it. And I didn't know what the hell was going on, and I stood by her hospital bed as she had a giant mask and a tube down her throat, and I couldn't say goodbye. But she made it, obviously, because God is good. She made it through. She's the strongest person I know, and I hate having to see her like this. I want to fix it. I want to fix her, but I can't. I can't do anything about her health, but by God, am I gonna do something to fix her financial state at least? And if I had the money to give her, that I could give her enough that she could cover everything and pay it all off before she goes to collect, and still be able to pay off my own debts, because I have them, because I bought furniture for my room because I needed it, and I have other things that I have to pay for that are my own, and ways that I contribute to this house because I live with my parents. I don't know if you guys realize that, but I do. And I would give that money to her if I had it, but I don't. I don't have it. I've already given her some, but she won't accept any more because she understands that I have things I have to pay for too. And I'm just tired of seeing her have to fight and fight and fight and not catch a break. So that's why I'm here. That's why this week I started a GoFundMe for her. And I hate that it came to that. And I don't know why. I've never looked down on anyone for starting a GoFundMe. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I think that it's different when you're on the other side of the fence. Like, I know everyone's hurting right now. Everyone has something going on. But I don't know what else to do. So this is me asking for help. And I am so blessed that I'm surrounded by so many people that care. I've already had so many donations from friends, from my coworkers, from people from my church, I think even strangers. I am so grateful for every single one of them. But I know I have this platform. And funny enough, I was actually thinking this video was gonna be like me saying, hey, I started a coffee, like if you guys ever want to donate, because I didn't want to start a Patreon even though someone suggested in my comments. I was like, I'd love to, but I don't think I post often enough that I feel like I wouldn't be letting you guys down, like you'd be paying for nothing. But this is so much more important. By the time you're watching this video, if you've already seen the GoFundMe, like if you're someone that knows me and have seen it already, or you follow me on my social media and you saw it already, you'll notice that this is probably the third time that I've changed the amount. And that's because I'm keeping this a secret from her. One, because I wanted to make it a nice surprise, but two, mainly because I know she would get mad if she found out. I am hoping that I could help get as much help as I can before I tell her. Because knowing her, if she found out before anything took off, she would make me take it down. But the thing about my mom is that she has helped, like despite her own issues, she has helped so many people. My mom is one of the most caring and generous people I know. I like to make jokes that she's mean like me and that she has like a really dry sense of humor, which she does, but she is so caring. She has helped so many people from our church that have needed help before, and other people, and like she'll donate to charities even when she doesn't have that much for herself. She feeds stray cats. She'll use whatever little money she has left over that she can spend on those stray cats because she loves them so much. I wish I had the money to take care of her the way she's taking care of me and so many others, but I don't. And that's why, in a way, I don't feel as bad, because I think she's helped so many people before. So why can't other people help her for once? So yeah, this really long-winded thing was me, besides trying not to cry, explaining to you what's going on. This is what I was talking about in my last video, why I took a week to film and hopefully by then update the Hell of a Boss video, because I've been trying to help her figure out what we're gonna do, and then within the last few days I've been very quietly setting this up. So I'm gonna say the same thing that I've said in all of my social media messages and on the GoFundMe page's actual thing. I understand that everyone's hurting right now, and like lots of people need help. I'm not pretending that I am special or that like I'm the most important. But what I will say is that if you want to donate, one, I would greatly appreciate it, but two, literally even $1 would make such a difference. Even if it's like so little as that, I would be grateful. But only give if you are able and you're not going to hurt for it. I don't want anyone giving what they can't, what they don't have to give. Whether or not you're able to, even a share, that would be like amazing as well. If anything, I feel like a share might matter a little more. Well, sort of, because you're taking time to, like, I can tell people who share it, maybe they can't give, but they still care enough to like maybe ask their friends, because that's what the share does. You're sending the message and you're asking people you know if they're willing to give, and that matters just as much. So if you can give, if you can share, that would still be amazing. By the time that you're watching this video, I would have changed the amount for the third time. And again, that's because my mom doesn't know, so I've been trying to figure out the amount that we would need. The amount it's at now is the temporary. It's the 2-week goal, let's say. The reason for that is because in my research, I found out that one of the bill that's the most is $1,364. But she was talking with like the hospital and their financial aid, and they said if the bill can be paid off in full by the end of February, which is about 2 weeks from now, they will discount it and the total will drop down to $889, I believe. So that's like a $500 discount, let's say. If we're able to raise that money by the end of February, then the goal that it's at now will be the final goal. If the end of February comes and passes, she's no longer able to pay it in full. She would have to make payments, and it will be the original amount of $1,364. So that's only one of the bills. The other bills are stationary, that they're not going to change in terms of price, but that's why there is a bit of a time crunch. So if you are able to give within the next 2 weeks, that would actually make it easier for everyone, because the amount will be a lot less than the actual amount that it would be. I am leaving the link for the GoFundMe in the description. And again, if you know me in real life, if you know my mom in real life, please don't tell her. Or my dad. He doesn't know this is happening either. I'm just doing this because I am at my wit's end and I don't know what else to do. And I've seen people do this. I've seen people start GoFundMes and raise money, and it works. And again, I feel bad asking for this because I know that everyone's hurting. But at the same time, if I have this many people listening to what I say, might as well ask, because what's the worst that can happen? You can't give, that's fine. You can share, that's enough. But I am willing to do anything for my mom, even set aside my pride. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Right now, at the time of recording this, we have the GoFundMe will say we have raised $615. It's actually $815 because I had someone Venmo me a donation. And yes, I should mention, I know that GoFundMe does charge some fees. I did mention that I already gave my mom money and she won't accept any more from me. And I had kind of thought, oh, I can like slip in a donation here and she won't know. But then when I found out about the fees, I thought that's perfect. So besides whatever donation I decide to give into there, I'm going to be taking care of the fees. You guys don't worry about that. Whatever the fee is, I'll cover that. That's going to be my contribution in addition to whatever else I decide to donate in the actual like GoFundMe. But yeah, so the link will be in the description. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video. If you made it to the end, you rock. And yeah, again, only give if you are able. Any donation, even if it's as little as $1, is much appreciated. And any and all shares are gonna be appreciated just as much, if not more. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. And yeah, thank you again so much for watching. Keep an eye out for my future videos. Subscribe if you haven't already, so that way you can be notified when I upload new videos. Camera died. Okay. Yeah, real quick, end of this message. So yeah, the link for the GoFundMe is in the description. My links for my social medias will be in the description. I'll try to keep you guys updated on how everything's going through theirs as well. And yeah, I am gonna go ahead and leave. Thank you again so much for watching. Thank you again for any and all support. And I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.